So the main event between Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank Martin, the Ghost, is going to be taking place real soon. However, the co-main event is really interesting between David Benavidez and Alexander Gvozdyk. These guys look ready to go. However, a lot of eyes going to be tuned in on that co-main event because there are a lot of David Benavidez detractors out there that love to make videos and stuff in defense of Canelo Alvarez just because David Benavidez has been on this hill for like I don't know how many years now, and Canelo never gave this man an opportunity. So a lot of people are praying and hoping that not only if David Benavidez loses, but if he wins, they hoping he has so much of a bad performance so they could go ahead and criticize him and say, oh, well, see, this is why I think Canelo could beat him. So at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. If Canelo thought he could really beat David Benavidez, he would have already fought David Benavidez by now. He wouldn't be making up all these damn excuses talking about he's not nice, or he hasn't fought anybody, or he fought one champion and everything else. Not to mention, some of these guys Canelo been fighting only fought one champion and hasn't beat anybody. So, of course, they sit up here praying that David Benavidez will have a bad performance. Now, on that note, I would say this. Alexander Gvozdyk is not a pushover. He was an Olympian. He had his one and only loss against Artur Beterbiev. And in fight he was actually looking good in. But that was some years back. And eventually he crumbled to the pressure of Artur Beterbiev. But that's not a bad thing. You know, he took like about 4.5 years retirement, and then he decided to come back, I believe, like a year ago, where he had some performances and just getting his feet wet again. But on top of that, fighting David Benavidez, I will not, sit up here and overlook Gvozdyk. Gvozdyk is a damn good fighter, and also he can still crack it. I mean, he has that deep amateur background at the end of the day, and he's been busy, like I said, the past year. So, perfect timing for him. And David Benavidez moving up in weight, taking on Alexander Gvozdyk. This would pretty much see where David Benavidez fit at 175. Now, on top of this, we do realize that it seems like the WBC only want to give David Benavidez 10 days to decide whether he's going to stay at 175 or go back to 168. Which I find kind of strange because David Benavidez has been the number one guy for the WBC for about 3 years, and the WBC never even gave him the opportunity to fight Canelo. So for them to even come out with that and giving him, a 10-day notice after the fight is terrible. However, David Benavidez does need to make that decision. And I believe he already kind of did. He's just like, look, I want that opportunity to fight Canelo. It's bad when you have a guy that has all 4 belts and he's still dancing around opponents. If you had like maybe a couple of belts, maybe 1 belt, it's easy to move around like that. But when you have all 4 belts and you moving around somebody, not fighting them, you want to give everybody else an opportunity, it's obviously that you're avoiding that person. That's just blatant duck, and the sanctioning bodies need to be held accountable for these certain situations, which they refuse to hold themselves accountable because they want to keep milking the cow. Well, hopefully this whole situation with Turki Al-Sheikh will change the way these sanctioning bodies think at the end of the day and force these sanctioning bodies to either do the right thing. And I don't mean just at 168, I mean straight across the board, force them to do the right thing or push these dudes out to where as though they're not irrelevant, they're pretty much irrelevant at the end of the day. So make the sanctioning bodies show some type of integrity to the sport instead of just to the money. But that's just my opinion on this. I'm looking forward to a good fight. I'm not sure who's going to win between Gvozdyk and Benavidez, but hopefully we get a good one. I'm leaning towards Benavidez at the end of the day. And speaking of, Benavidez actually looked like the smaller man in this fight against Gvozdyk, because Gvozdyk looked all jacked up and whatnot, whereas though Benavidez look a little flabby, but at the end of the day, he always look flabby, so it doesn't really matter. But the man's gonna bring it. Both guys gonna bring it, and hopefully we get a great fight. With that being said, you watching Bold and Understanding. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and on the end of that note, family, peace.